Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Steven Inks. My name is Steven and I love to do videos about pens, pen and ink art, specifically my fountain pen collection getting bigger by the day. I recently made an addition that a lot of people have mentioned in comments and recommendations for pens, which is the Pilot Penmanship, aka the Pilot Ergonomic Grip. It came in a little box like this, and if you can see, it says two set. So there are two pens in this set, which means one of them is ripe for a giveaway, and this is actually a very special video, and I will explain why at the end of this video, and I will also explain at that time what you can do to be eligible to win this Pilot Penmanship. Let's look at some parts of the pen. We are going to fill it with ink and do a drawing sample. I can't wait to show you this. All right, let's go. Here is how the pen arrived. And as you can see, it says two set. There are actually two pens here. One I'm going to keep myself, and the other I'm going to give away to a subscriber. This is to celebrate reaching 500 subscribers on YouTube. Super excited. And this is a pen that's been recommended for a long time. Now, it was labeled as the Pilot Ergonomics, and having looked it up, I was looking for the penmanship, which is something that a lot of my viewers have recommended, and it turns out that it's the same pen. It's just sometimes called the ergonomic, and sometimes it's called the Pilot Penmanship, and sometimes it's called the Penmanship Ergonomic. As far as my research goes, that is what I found out. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm sure there's plenty of people with more information than me. You can see I already opened the box. I sort of got a little excited when it came. I actually used a ballpoint pen I had lying around from work over on the side here. Apparently some people write with those. I don't know, seems unnecessary to me. But here's how the pens came. Opening up the box, I can see two pens. There's one that's a full demonstrator, clear. There's a Pilot ink cartridge here, and it does come with a set of two Con 40 converters, and I'm going to pull this one aside because this one is going to be for giveaway. And this sort of translucent black material is going to be the pen that I am going to be checking out today. And of course, there's a Con 40 converter. I do like this Con 40. It might be my favorite of the Pilot converters. Having tried quite a few of them, it's the one that seems to be the most no nonsense. I know that there are some people who really hate this converter, but I do not mind it. So I'm going to install that on this pen after I open it up. Instructions on the back. This is a pen. We kind of know how all that works. This is pretty low impact packaging. Easy to open, and out comes the pen. That's everything. Okay, I'm going to put this cartridge aside. I don't usually use cartridges. Maybe I'll include it with the giveaway. And first thing that I notice holding this pen in my hand, it does feel light, but not flimsy or weak. Nice little sectioned grip. Molded to your hand if you hold your pens in the traditional way. That'll do just fine. There's no clip, but I like that the pen here has been kind of engineered with this sort of torpedo looking shape. That's a funny looking cap, but it won't roll around on your desk. So that's cool. It's a threaded, so it goes here, and it does post. It posts nicely. That's good. It doesn't really add any weight to the pen because this is a very light pen, but the fact that it posts is worth noting because I like to post my caps or I'll lose them. If I remove this centered section, we have the body. Section is, you can see there's that Pilot Super Quality EF. This looks very similar to the nib of my Pilot Kakuno, so I think it might actually be the same, Let's see if we can pull it out. Oh, pulls out nice and easy. There's that famous Pilot feed, which I like very much. It does also have, it's hard to see, but it does have these nice little grooves in the side where the nib just kind of snaps right in, so it's really hard to misalign that nib. That's one of Pilot's really good points, that they do have nice feeds. It looks the exact same as the feed on the Kakuno and also on the Pilot Metropolitan. The only major differences, I think the nib and feed are going to be the same, but the body has some unique qualities to it. I think it'll be nice to hold in the hand when we're drawing with it, which is what we're going to do after we put this pen back together and ink it up. Right, so wanting to have a really decent comparison to my Pilot Kakuno, which I uploaded around the summertime of 2020. It was a popular video on this channel. I'm going to use the same ink, which is Platinum Carbon Black. It's a really nice ink, especially if you work with watercolor. I'm going to be turning this upside down. I'll show you why in a second. It comes with this little plastic device. If you can see it, it's in there. It's covered in ink that captures some of the ink and puts it in a little cup. So even as you run out of ink in the bottle, you can still fill your pens really nicely with it. So here we go. We're going to try this Platinum Carbon Black in this Pilot Ergo Grip, or aka Pilot Penmanship Extra Fine. And so I'm putting the plunger down and I'm going to pull it up. Hopefully that's going to be, I see the ink coming up, but I'm going to put it down and up again to get a little bit of a better fill. I'm going to take a couple of swings at it because this is the first time to fill this pen up. So it's hard to see that, but I do have a fill partway up. I'm going to actually be a stickler for a nice full fill this time, and I'm going to pump back and forth a little bit. Ooh, we are on the edge of ruin here. If you can see, the ink is blobbing out the top. I'm going to try not to make a huge mess. If you're someone who likes keeping things clean, this is your worst nightmare, just this ink coming in and out. We're going to leave it there. I think that's not a very good fill, but I'm a little bit worried. Well, let's turn it down a little bit, and then this is going to be, I'm going to cut all of this out, I'm sure. Or I'll leave it in. You guys can make fun of me for being lazy in the comments. I'm going to try one more time. Okay, that's a much better fill. So we're going to go with that. On to drawing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to see what this baby can do. I am taking the cap off, little torpedo looking thing, and again, this is an extra fine, so I'm expecting super fine Japanese fine lines. Okay, yeah, that is hair thin. I see this on the level with my Kakuno. If I were to do some reverse drawing in this case, and it's been true with most of the Pilot pens I've tried, it's really not much of a difference going forward or reverse because it's such a thin line. I don't find any reason to do any reverse writing with this nib. It's possible, it's not too scratchy. This extra fine will always have a bit of scratch and tooth and feedback. But I don't mind that. I think for super thin lines, I think that's kind of what you have to do. I don't really know what I'm doing here with this box. Let me do some 3D shapes. So you can hear that. I hope you can hear that. It's a little bit on the scratchy side. It's got a lot of feedback. And so if you're not comfortable with feedback, you want a super glassy, smooth pen, I would not recommend this, but those thin lines, look at that. That is nice. And once again, we have another body style kind of that we can think about if we prefer this, if we prefer the size and the shape of the Kakuno, you know, or the Metropolitan if you don't mind a fine nib, which I don't mind at all. But I do love this Pilot Extra Fine. This reminds me of dip pens, but the fact that I don't have to keep dipping them in a bottle of ink is very nice. So yeah, this, I could do a lot with this. This feels like a technical pen or something that could be used for drafting, even if I'm feeling like I want to spend a little more time on something. This, of course, are just doodles scraping about, putting a little pressure on it. I do get a nice line, some juicy feedback, but definitely this pen is meant to do super fine lines. You can see the variation that I'm getting here is essentially that outside edge versus the inside edge. It's not extreme, and you can see feathering about the edge, but that's because this is really cheap paper. So if I'm doing this really fast, I'm gonna see that then the feed keeps up, and I get really consistent, nice black lines. No clogging from the platinum carbon black ink, which is a very good thing. That ink is sometimes it is finicky in certain pens. As a matter of fact, my Platinum Preppy, which is ironic because it's a platinum pen, doesn't really like carbon black ink. But yeah, here's a, I do really like this. I like this a lot. I think it's nice. Okay. So having just played around with a few lines, giving you some stuff to look at, I can do squiggly, swirly lines. Pen keeps up, so I can do my values however I want. I feel completely unencumbered by this pen. There's nothing that I think I have to consider about the type of pen that I'm using. I just get to make lines. So I love it. Let's make something fun. One last note that I have to make. I really have to compare this penmanship or ergonomic grip to the Pilot Kakuno. As many of you know, it is a favorite of mine. It's something that I use pretty often, and it's a very fine line. And the reason why I have to compare these two pens is because if you look at them up close, the nibs are essentially the same. So, and I also found that the drawing experience with the ergonomic grip or the penmanship, as they use both names to describe it, and the Kakuno are essentially similar to the exact same. I didn't notice much of a difference. So comparing the two, seeing them side by side, the question of which one is better is really a matter of personal taste about the setup and the style. This has got this kind of tapered shaft that looks almost like a brush. if you're used to holding brushes, you might really enjoy that shape. And it's got this kind of funky looking cap, which is a twist off, as opposed to the Kakuno, which is a friction cap with a little slip and seal mechanism in it. Yeah, you can see how this has got this kind of octagonal shape. It's got holes in the bottom, so it's not possible to eyedropper this. Personally, I don't like eyedropper pens, but I know that many people do, and in this case, this one, it's got this little divot, but the divot is sealed as far as the plastic goes, so you probably could eyedropper this. Again, I will not be doing that because I don't like eyedropper pens. One of the other differences, this is an advantage or a disadvantage depending on how you feel about this, is that you can get the Pilot Kakuno 70, which is what's in here, into the Kakuno, while the Penmanship, for obvious reasons, this tapered body, does not fit something of that size. And again, I've said this before, I don't think the Kakuno 70 is that big of a sell. You can also get this Kakuno 40, which is what's inside the Penmanship, into the Kakuno. And so looking at these two together, having used them both a reasonable amount, I've got to say I think that my favorite is still the Kakuno, with the caveat that I would probably trade this Kakuno 70 in for a Kakuno 40. So sorry, Penmanship, that's my choice. However, it is a very narrow margin because, like I said, the drawing experience is the exact same as with the Kakuno, and it all just kind of boils down to what shape is more comfortable in your hand. So that's my thoughts on that. So I wanted to talk about something that I did while I was creating this. Is about in the middle of this drawing that I'm doing, right after I got the first lines of ink down, I thought to myself, this would be a really fun coloring page. And also it would be a fun page to let you guys ink with. So I went ahead and digitized this drawing and made it available as a PDF that you can print off, and you can go over ink lines yourself, as well as you can color it. So both links to both of those are going to be found in the description of the video. I hope you enjoy it, and I would love to have you connect with me on Instagram if you create something and post it. Tag me in it. Same title of my Instagram is the same title of my YouTube, which is Steven_inks. Using the Penmanship, I found for the most part it was very similar to the Kakuno, like almost the exact same experience, the only difference being the size and shape of the pen. And I mentioned some people will like one more than the other. It's all a matter of personal preference. For me, I do think I prefer the Kakuno, but by a very narrow margin. The other thing that I noticed about this, which I think I mentioned it in my Kakuno review, was that the lines are so like wet and juicy, which makes the pen a lot smoother than, say, a Platinum Extra Fine, which is a bit drier. It's hard to layer up textures, so I felt like everything was eventually going to be either black or white when it came to this pen, so I had to be a little bit careful. I found that to be, I don't know, mildly irritating. Your mileage may vary. I do think this is a really good pen, and I would recommend it, especially if you're looking for that almost dip pen experience, but without having to reload it. I think we had fun with this. I hope you had fun watching this little drawing of mine, and thanks everybody for all the likes and subscribes and comments that you've been making on my videos. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun creating things for you guys, and I totally expect to create so much more in the future on this channel. It's been just a great journey this last year. So awesome. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. All right, we had a great time drawing today, and I really loved making this silly little giraffe for you guys. If you enjoyed watching this and you'd like to play along with me, please don't forget to look in the video description for a link to the coloring page and also the inking page for this giraffe. I'd love to see what you do. You can find me on Instagram and tag me in what you create. But additionally, I'm sure many of you are here because you want to know, how can I win a copy of this Pilot Penmanship pen? And the one that I'm giving away, of course, is the unused clear plastic one, and it does come with a Pilot Con 40 converter. Both of these will be mailed to you if you are a subscriber to my channel and you answer the question that I'm going to tell you in just a minute. But let me first say that this giveaway is because we are celebrating 500 subscribers to this channel. It's a big deal. I never even thought we would make it this far, especially in 1 year of doing these videos. It's been great getting to know you all, talking to you as we discuss pens and learning from you and getting to interact with you all. So if you'd like to join this little YouTube family, please hit the subscribe button. And please, since this Pilot Penmanship was the result, the purchase was a result of so many people recommending it to me, please make a recommendation. What's the next pen that you think I should check out and draw with? Leave that recommendation as a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and within 48 hours of this video going up, I'm going to choose one comment at random to win this Pilot Penmanship. You'll have to contact me within 48 hours of me commenting on your post in order to get this package. So that is all you have to do, and all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for this year of just fantastic growth for me as an artist, but also getting to know you and interact with you all. I hope you're all doing well, happy and healthy, and please take care.